What's up, kitten cats? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, clearly I'm in the car right now. We are on our way home from the gym.
Hey, kitties.
Anyway, we're on our way home from the gym, and I'm gonna do, in this video, I'm gonna do kind of a laying out what I'm doing for this cut, and then what I'm gonna do is lay over the workout footage with it, so that it's not just me talking, because I feel like that gets really boring. And we just had a fun little shoulder workout, so you'll get to see the shoulder workout footage and you'll get to hear about my cut and what I'm doing for it, because I've had some questions about it. So here we go. So you guys know I started a cut about 2 weeks ago now with Jason Theobald of Scooby Prep, so I'm just gonna tell you about how that is going a little bit more in detail than I have. So first and foremost, it is going to last for 8 weeks, so it is a finite period of time. I have 8 weeks to cut, and then we'll go into 4 to 6 weeks of reverse dieting, and then we're gonna kind of repeat that cycle until I'm in like a happy place for me, or until he tells me otherwise. So that's kind of the game plan here. The main goal with that is to keep me from dieting for a really long time, like I have the tendency to do. So because it's a set 8-week time frame, it's like, okay, you have 8 weeks to do what you can do here, and then it's 4 to 6 weeks of reversing. That we're doing that to also help keep, you know, my hormones and my metabolism in check, so that I don't go back into what I've been dealing with this entire year, because I really don't want to go back there at all. So right now we are on week 2 of 8. I am down 2 pounds so far, so that's really cool. I'm not really like, especially when it comes to, obviously I send like weight check-ins to Jason, but when it comes to you guys, I'm not really like, I don't care about sharing like weight loss or stuff with you guys. It's been like that in the past, especially when I've like prepped for contests. You know, there were like always like weigh-ins and check-ins and telling you guys all that stuff, and like it's one piece of data, but I feel like people, and like myself included, can get really hung up on that really easily. So what I want to focus on more, especially in this series, is more so the look, because that's what matters most to me, how I'm feeling, how my training sessions are going, how I'm feeling psychologically, all that stuff, because I feel like that's the more important stuff, and that connects more with the series name, Thrive. Like, Thrive does not have anything to do with what you weigh. Like, that's bullshit. It's about how you live your life, and it's about how you feel, and it's about how training makes you feel, and how your diet makes you feel, and just living your best life, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm still getting a lot of fluctuation though, because I have been having some digestive problems the last like week and a half, which we'll talk more about in a second. Anyway, so moving into cardio. So I am doing 2 lift sessions per week, and then I'm doing 2 really short HIIT sessions per week. So it's still nothing crazy, and that's what it started out as. So like, it hasn't been increased at all. So really light on cardio so far. There's still a lot of room to play there and add more in if I need to increase energy expenditure. I have some notes on my phone here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But I'm also trying to make a point of being more active in my days when I'm not at school, just like throughout the day, like trying to increase my energy expenditure via NEAT, because when I am at school, obviously I'm walking around campus a lot. I'm just on my feet more, so there's a slight increase in NEAT just from me being at school. So I'm trying to even out energy expenditure throughout the day on days when I'm not at school, just to make things a little bit more consistent throughout the week. That's kind of just like a me being a little bit anal about things type of situation, but also, I think there's nothing wrong with, especially me, I'm a student, I work for myself, I work from home, I work on a computer. I'm really not, by nature of my job, active throughout the day. So like, doing anything I can to like be a little more active throughout the day is a good thing. As far as diet goes, food is still pretty freaking high, or at least that's how it feels to me. I'm basically full all the time. Part of that could be due to the fact that I feel like I have like 5 pounds of food sitting in my stomach. Maybe more like 3 pounds after today, because I got a good one out today.
Small victories.
So, that was a big victory.
Don't bullshit them.
Wow, that's really funny, because I'm a Taurus. You said don't bullshit them. Taurus is a bull.
Taurus. She's just feeding you a line of bullshit.
But we started out the cut at 2,200 calories. That's where we still are. He hasn't made any drops to calories yet. My carbs were higher to start, but my body is a little bit more fat preferential. So this is where we get into our little chat. When my fats, I've noticed this over the past couple years, probably since about 2015, when I first started experimenting with higher fats. My body adapted to that really, really well. And I personally noticed that when my fat, like, I have no data to support this. This is literally all anecdotal. Like, I could be full of shit right now, and well, Anyway, when my fats drop below a certain point, like not even dangerously low fats, like for me, low fat is what the normal person, especially the normal female would consider like moderate fats. But to me in my body, that feels low. When my fats drop too low for my personal body, my digestion basically just stalls, shuts down. I can't poop, don't know what it is. It's a terrible feeling. I hate it. So in my check-in with Jason this week, I kind of share that with him because I wanted to really just give his approach. His approach is definitely a higher carb, more moderate fat approach. And so I really wanted to like give that the full try before being like, okay, and like to see if it would work for me. But yeah, this past like week and a half, I've been pooping maybe every like 2 or 3 days.
It's been real shitty.
It's been shitty. Or like lack thereof. But
It's not been a shit show.
See. So yeah, I was extremely irregular, so Jason switched out some of my carbs for higher fats to see if that helps. I'm also making sure that I'm keeping my fiber intake up because that's obviously going to help as well, and also keeping water intake up because that's going to help as well. So, I mean, the fact that I'm like still dropping weight while holding on to like 5 pounds of food in my stomach, I guess that's reassuring, right?
What'd you just say?
The fact that I'm still like dropping weight while still holding like 5 pounds of food in my stomach.
I'm scared for what you're gonna weigh when you actually...
We're gonna need to call a plumber. It's gonna be like a small child.
I bought extra toilet paper last night.
Did you buy extra wet wipes?
And when I bought Windex because...
Why would you buy Windex?
They go everywhere. Better be safe than sorry.
Better often than I always say.
It's better to have that extra shit than not.
Yeah. But anyway, my next video is actually going to be all about digestion and inflammation and stress management tips. So definitely be on the lookout for that because I know you guys are gonna have questions, and there are some things that I've been doing, like my shit shakes and various other things. It's an Instagram post. Just go look at the Instagram post that helps keep my digestion going even when things are a little like plugged.
Sounds like what you have when you're back to like your...
So as far as training goes, training intensity is still really high, and people ask me about this all the freaking time. They're like, should you change your training when you start a cut? And the answer is absolutely not. The reason being, your goal when you're cutting is to... There's a very small likelihood if you're like a new trainee or if you're returning from an injury or if you're doing things like... If you're like a fitness unicorn, that you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. So the goal with a cut is to either build additional muscle or just for most people to maintain the muscle you do have. You do lose a proportion of muscle when you lose fat, just like you gain a bit of fat when you gain muscle. If you want to keep training intensity high, like you don't want to all of a sudden just completely revolutionize everything you're doing because you're going to most likely, like a lot of people will decrease their training volume when they start a cut. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically tell your body like, hey, I don't need these muscular adaptations that I created. I can get rid of them now. And people will lose muscle, which you don't want to do, one, because you worked really hard for that muscle, and two, muscle is far more metabolically active than like fat tissue. So muscle burns calories throughout the day. So if you lose a lot of muscle, you're going to lose calorie burning tissue. So while you're also trying to create an energy deficit, you would decrease the amount of energy you burn throughout the day. So that's just not a good idea. But I've been training a lot with this son of a gun who's like an outline just because it's really bright, but I've been training with him a lot. Not quite. He trains very uniquely, if you haven't gathered from my videos yet. It's fun though. I enjoy it. You train like very, very differently. It's
Really?
challenging and I get very frustrated sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's fun. Oh, this traffic is gonna be really fun too.
So stoked.
But yeah, so training intensity is still high. I'm still enjoying my sessions. I still feel strong. I don't feel like my energy's taken any sort of hit by any means. Jason did bring me down. I was training 6 days a week. Vince brought me up to 6, but Jason did bring me down to 5, and he does want 2 full rest days in there. So 2 days where I'm not doing anything, just letting my body recover, because recovery is extremely important at all times, but especially when you're in an energy deficit because you have less recovery available from food. So get your rest in, especially if you're cutting. And then last thing would be stress management. So I've been really bad about stress management lately. So I made a point of starting to get up a little bit earlier in my day to get back into my meditation practice because I've been out of that. And one thing that's been really helpful for me, and I'm actually going to be interviewing them for the podcast in a couple of weeks, is the book Just Sit by Suki and Elizabeth Novogratz. So if you are interested in getting into meditation, but you don't necessarily think it's for you, you don't know how, you're like nervous about it, then definitely check out that book. I love it. And as far as supplementation goes, nothing's really changed. So just taking a multi, creatine, fish oil, vitamin D, ashwagandha, like my normal stuff. And then I have been on a lot of like hormonal support type supplements from Vince, but that's like a laundry list of things that I don't want to get into. Also something that I've taken for a really long time is a glucose disposal agent, or a GDA, to help better use and partition glucose that you take in. So yeah, that's kind of the lowdown, the gist of what's going on with this cut. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to see where it goes, and yeah. Alright, you guys, so if you have any questions about what I'm doing or anything that I mentioned in this video, feel free to leave a comment below. But I just wanted to give you guys a little synopsis, like brief breakdown of what I'm doing, what's going on, because you guys ask about that stuff all the time, and I figured now would be the time to talk about it since I'm doing something different with my fitness right now. That's been it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel and circle and click that little bell at the bottom so that you get notified every time I upload a video. That's it for me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Also, before I go, I just posted on Instagram, or I'm about to post on Instagram, about the Seattle meetup that Chanel and I are doing. We are flying out a week from today, and the meetup is on Saturday, February 3rd. So I'll put the little graphic up here that I made. Those are all the details. Would love to see some of you guys out there, and yeah, that's it. I love you. See you next time.